Hello, my name is Håkon, or Mansion, that's my artist name. I come from Norway. Did you know that right now there are many people considering suicide due to the actions of one of the most bureaucratic organizations in the world, the EU? Because they decided what we should do with refugees is to gather them in a camp in the Greek islands of Lesbos, Chios, and Samos. In one of the camps, there are 18,000 people in a camp fit for 4,000. The situation is deplorable. There is sewage all over, horrible living conditions. And if you dare to criticize it, you get deported. You get sued by the Greek authorities. And you may not see it. I worked with refugees. I have worked in pretty tough jobs. But I am so angry. I wish I could sit down with an EU official and tell them that what they are doing is akin to what happened in the 1940s. It is. The difference is they're not talking about Jews and people of the rainbow spectrum and other people who are political enemies. We're talking about refugees, the most vulnerable of all. How dare you, you bureaucrats? You turn one of the most beautiful places on earth, Greece, into Holocaust, or akin to it. You should be so ashamed of yourself, I can hardly express it. Where is your empathy? Where is your dignity? Where is your honor? I can't not express. Yesterday I watched this thing on Instagram where a EU something student talked about zero pollution, zero emission goals. Bull crap. When you treat people much worse than you allow cattle to be treated, then you should not talk about the environment and taking care of our planet, because you've shown through your actions that what you are doing, Jesus. How is it possible? How can you live with yourself, EU Parliament, with your meters of regulations and all that? Is that what you're hiding behind? Is that what makes it okay? You're just isolated by a few feet of regulations. How dare you? I wonder. I'm a monk. I'm pretty much into spiritual stuff. I love worshipping along with evangelical communities such as Hillsong and Jesus Culture, Bethel, singing with them. I just love it. But I'm also a Buddhist. I don't like boundaries. But one thing I have gotten from all the scriptures I read, all the holy books I read, is you get what you give and do unto others. Are there no one in the EU Parliament has heard of these things, the golden rule? What makes it okay, because I know for a fact that right now there are people sitting on these Greek islands considering suicide because the situation is so horrible and they say no way out. They have no future whatsoever because of the way you treat them. Solely because of the way you treat them. In addition to having had one heck of a journey there. And I know a little bit about this because I used to work with EMA, as we call it in Norwegian, single minor asylum seekers. I've heard the stories of the travels, and they were bad. So in addition to this, you process them in a more industrialized way than we treat cattle. We would not allow cattle or pigs or any of our animals be treated in this way. Then it would be outrage. And all the organization, World Wildlife Fund and all of those would say, oh, you can't do this. But it is okay when it comes to human beings. How dare you? You sit there with your fancy suits. You sit there with your black Mercedeses. You sit there with your diplomatic immunity. And you do things like this to vulnerable people. How dare you? Where is your heart? Do you have a heart? Do you only have like a thinking brain? High IQ? Doesn't help much, you know? If it's not followed with a heart, with empathy, with care for others, with the possibility, the insight into what happens when you treat people like this. I wonder how many of you in the EU Parliament and the leadership, how many of you have seen the reports from these places? How many of you have gone visiting? Have you seen what you've done? I said it was a Holocaust. That was wrong, because you don't go in, you don't have the ovens. I'm sorry about that. But Auschwitz, because as far as I remember, it wasn't a plan to start off with killing people immediately. You should just leave them in camps for a while. And that is what's happening. And I hate playing the Nazi card. It is, to me, that is losing an argument every time. But for this once, for this single instant, it fits. And I'm so dismayed at my own country. Norway, land of the brave, land of the cowards. That is what Norway has turned into. Land of the cowards. Our government. We should immediately withdraw from all agreements with the EU. We should say we cannot be a part of this. We have no say in the matter. We're not allowed to make any decisions. We should just take our oil, take our fish, say goodbye, go through a tough transition period, and then we'll be fine. Then we could perhaps go together, as Johan Galtung suggested some years ago, go together in the Scandinavian Union with people who have a heart, with countries who do care about other people. We're trying. Because what I see happening, it dismayed me. I am just so disappointed. I'm disappointed in the EU. I can understand the Greek government. They are squeezed into a total economic, I was going to say something, don't do that. They have problems. That's understandable. Both people and countries do desperate things in dire straits. That is understandable. But still, there is a better way than deportation, Greece. There is. Talk with people. A lot of people from various humanitarian organizations, they want to help, they want to assist. Let them help. Let them go in and do their best. Build playgrounds, have activities for the children, for the youth. Let them help fix things. You're blessed with volunteers coming to your country to help out. Don't abuse them. And I know you say you can't film. Allow people to film. Allow the public to see what's really happening. And that is what Greece is all about to me. It is about democracy. It is about allowing also the small voices to stand forward. It is about, you have Socrates, you have Hippocrates, you have all these amazing, amazing thinkers. Please start using some of all the great things they're giving your nation and the world. Please. Okay. But the EU, you should just hide yourself in a corner and be ashamed of yourself. I'm sure if I was given the chance, I could find out how many people have killed themselves because of your actions. Because instead of finding a good way to safely transport all those vulnerable people from Syria, Afghanistan, all the African countries in the Middle East, people who flee persecution, people who flee from horrible living conditions, people who flee from situations where they are subject to things like ISIS or Daesh. They live in horrible situations. Find a way to help them get dignity, get a good life. We have lots of room in Norway. We have lots of room for people. We are now shutting down asylum centers. We have space, and of course we need to work on how we meet our new countrymen and women as well, because we want people to come to our country and to become a part of our country. As you see in the United States, you saw that people came and they became Americans and they kept the culture. So they became an amalgam of both, and they picked the best parts of both. That is what we need to do in Norway as well, and there are many ways to do that. But I must admit, I don't even know the name of the chair, this woman of the EU, because I don't watch the news, because I get so upset. I get so dismayed, I get so angry with what is happening in this world. This world that could be such a paradise. Is it okay to turn it into living hell for some people? I don't think so. Have a great day. Namaste. God bless you. Shalom. Assalamu alaikum. Blessed be.